Hello, so good day to you, sir. So I am Cadet Josh Andres Sasser, and I will be presenting my oral presentation on the effectiveness of ship communications on unloading and unloading. So effective communication means are to be established between the ship's deck officers and the cargo terminal, which shall remain effective throughout the cargo operation. This communication link should establish one, an agreed procedure to stop cargo operations. So if there is an accident that will happen, there will be a procedure on what to do and how to stop it. And number two, personnel responsible for terminal cargo operations. So every terminal operations on the cargo, there should be officers in charge and also the captain so that they will facilitate the unloading and loading of the cargoes. So three, the ship's officer responsible for the cargo loading, unloading plan, and the officer in charge responsible for on the deck cargo operation. So just like what I said on number two, the officers in charge should know all the plans of the unloading and unloading cargo, and also the crews that will be on that operations. And number four, confirmation of information received in advance. So when doing car unloading and loading operations, the officers and all the crew members should be briefed of that operation and they should know what to do in advance. So number five, an agreed procedure for the terminal to provide the officer in charge with the loaded cargo weight at frequent intervals at the end of each pour. And number six, an agreed procedure for drought checking. So when doing unloading and loading operation, we should know what the drought of our ship is, if it has a low level drought or a high level drought, so that when we know it, we will proceed to the unloading and loading operation safely. And number seven, the reporting of any damage to the ship from the cargo operation. So if there are any uh, damage on the ship when doing loading and unloading operation, it should be reported to the officers in charge or the master so that there won't be any further more damage. So the ship's officer responsible for the cargo operation plan should submit the proposed loading unloading plan to the cargo terminal representative at the earliest opportunity to allow sufficient time for any subsequent modifications and to enable the terminal to prepare accordingly. The ship's officer should be familiar with the IMO ship shore safety checklist. So, from 1st July 1998, it became mandatory by SOLAS convention. So, this is the mandatory convention by SOLAS. So, number one, the plan and any subsequent amendments thereto shall be lodged with the appropriate authority of the port state. So, when doing the unloading and loading plan, so we need to first get the authorization or confirmation of the port state. So, number two, the ship's master and the terminal representative shall ensure that the cargo operations are conducted in accordance with the agreed plan. So, the meaning of number two is that the representative of the port, or shall I say the port state, and our master of the vessel is that we should do all the things that are being given to us on the briefing on how to do the unloading and loading operations on the procedure. So before commencing cargo operations, the cargo terminal should not commence any cargo operations until the loading unloading plan and all the relevant procedures have been agreed and the ship's master has, where necessary, received a certification of readiness issued by the respective maritime authorities. So prior to the commencement of cargo loading operations, it should be determined that number one, no structural damage exists. Any such damage is to be reported to the representative clarification society and cargo operations are not to be undertaken. Number two, the bilge and ballast systems are in satisfactory working condition. And lastly is the lack of effective ship-shore communication. So the lack of ship-shore communication may increase the risk of inadvertent overloading of the ship's structure. It is important that there is an agreed procedure between the ship's officer and the terminal operators to stop cargo operations. The communication link established between the ship and the terminal should be maintained throughout the cargo operation. So that will be all from me, and thank you very much.